Hello everyone, and welcome back to more Silent Hill 2. Now we are going to tackle the Labyrinth. I thought the stuff we did at the end of last video was part of it, but it's not really that labyrinthian. Here's where we are. So what you'll want to do is take a left here, excuse me, and then a right, and then up that ladder. I'm talking these out in case anybody needs help with this labyrinth. Take a right, take a left, and down this ladder, especially if somebody's visually impaired like me. So we need to exit this little alcove, go up, which is to James's left. There'll be another jerk around here. Take a left. Stop vomiting everywhere. God! So disgusting. Another left. Then look for a quick left. And then go straight and up a ladder. Straight and to the left, to the right, past a grate, and then around this thing. And once you get past the grate, you can't really go the wrong direction unless you go back across the gate. But why would you do that? Hey, guy. Leave me alone. I will leave you alone. Take a left. Take a left. And I'm looking for another left. Pyramid Head is down here as well. Then take a right. And then up this ladder. And we are getting close to being done with it. There's some ammo. You can take other paths in this labyrinth and find more supplies. But I've got enough. And I promised I would show it off once. Chris, this is for you. And notice the way James walks when he has this equipped. Ha! No kicking required. It's pretty badass against certain enemies, but as you can see, it's very unpractical to use. I will not be using it pretty much for the rest of the game. There is one spot I will use it, but for the most part, we are not going to see that. In fairness, we already got our one use out of the steel pipe, which was breaking that wall. I didn't show it against an enemy at all. In that last sewer bit, just take a left and go straight and up the ladder. The music during this part reminds me a bit of something from Silent Hill 1, either in Nowhere or the hospital. I can't remember which. I think the hospital, actually. And here is a document. You can read if you want, don't if you don't. I think this is about Angela. You can tell from the couple of times that we talked to her that she has some issues, and probably figure she's been through some trauma. And if you remember, we are trying to get to Maria and arm the shotgun here. The name Maria will forever be tarnished for me because of a lady that I used to work with.
Daddy, please don't!
And we are facing a manifestation of Angela's dad. This is the monster she sees in her version of Silent Hill. Get off of me! I'm not your... No, I'm not even going to make that joke. Just get off.
Are you okay? Angela, relax.
Don't order me around!
I'm not trying to order you.
So what do you want then? Oh, I see. You're trying to be nice to me, right? I know what you're up to. It's always the same. You're only after one thing.
No, that's not true at all.
You don't have to lie. Go ahead and say it. Or you could just force me. Beat me up like he always did. You only care about yourself anyway. You disgusting pig. Ugh.
Angela,
Don't touch me! You make me sick. You said your wife Mary was dead, right?
yes. She was ill.
Liar! I know about you. You didn't want her around anymore. You probably found someone else.
That's ridiculous. I never...
Well, there's a bit to talk about there, and unfortunately I also have to describe a puzzle. Obviously, Angela's daddy was doing bad things to her. I'm not sure why I adjusted the camera like that, but okay. Come through here. I don't know how long that was going on. She's only 17, even though she looks older in the game. That was a deliberate choice by the developers. But you can read this. We need to pull the rope of the innocent man, I believe it was. And it's the same person in every playthrough, depending on which riddle difficulty you go with. So on easy, it will be the same. Medium, it'll be the same. Hard, it'll be the same. But the position can change, which is something I learned when doing this. And I want to say it's the counterfeiter on easy difficulty. I can't remember. And with me being blind, I can't really read this very well. I do show off 4 of these. I could not get the last 2 descriptions to read. But you can read them if you want. It's the third one of these I'm going to check as the one we need to pull. So you can see why Angela is all messed up. Again, I don't know how old she was when all that got started. It's another example of how in this game, if you never played it before, a lot of things like that might be pretty obvious and on the nose because we have seen so many games come out since then that have done that. But again, those games were mostly following this game. And here's the 2 that I can't get to bring up the description for, but I already got the one I need, so it doesn't matter. And you can tell she reverts to being a child at times in her behavior and some of the way that she talks. Even after we see her in the apartment, pull this one. If you get this wrong, an enemy spawns. So there's not a big consequence for failure. And as you saw, the great knife works great against those enemies. So it's all good. But in the apartment when we saw her and she freaked out and started saying something like she's been bad, don't hurt her, or something like that, now you can see what she was on about. I don't like having these types of stories in games, but I think they handled Angela's rape story about as well as can be done. And as you can see, I got this right, which means we get a key. I will admit this took me 2 tries. Thankfully, the in-game save, I was alright. So I didn't have to suffer any punishment. But it does mean I didn't get to use the great knife again, which is very sad. I cheated myself! I was very indecisive here. At this point, I was planning on going with the shotgun to deal with some enemies that we are going to have in an upcoming area, but I ended up going with the pistol because it has further range. I will complain about shotguns in video games in a moment. So this is where we use that key. Huzzah, success! So in case you're wondering, we are trying to look for Mary. We are trying to track down Maria for some reason. Not sure why she's back, although this is a different Maria. You can already tell that from that cutscene we got. And we are also trying to get to the hotel. James mentioned that when he met Maria.
Maria? Maria? Maria, no! What happened to you? Why? Why?
So Pyramid Head killed Maria. I don't know if it says that specifically, but that's what happened. Going back to Angela for a moment, we got to look into her version of Silent Hill. I mentioned her dad. I've heard supposedly her brother also did that to her, and her mom covered it up and even blamed her for it. I'm not sure where that comes from. I'm not sure if all that is true or not. I'm pretty sure she did kill her family, though. So if nothing else, her dad for obvious reasons, and her mom and brother just because they were complicit. And I really like this piece of music. So you can tell that we are getting James's version of Silent Hill throughout this game. This game introduces an interesting concept of people having their own personal Silent Hills. I'm not sure how the bleed over works. We are about to see somebody else's version of Silent Hill. And it all happens at once. We will meet Angela again, though. The pistol's what you're going to want for the next part. It's a lot faster and has longer range. It's really what I should have gone with from the start. Now let's read these gravestones. There's a name. It's Eddie. This is the only place I know of in the game that actually shows off their last names. I don't even think they say James's last name in this game. We got Angela, and we got James. And there's also a save point in here, so that's my next goal, is to get to that. But again, I don't know about Angela's family besides her killing them. I'm not quite sure how that works. I thought this was the save point, but it's right over here. Definitely save your game before doing this. I thought about redoing this next bit because something weird is going to happen that did not happen in my original playthrough. I don't know if it happened when I originally played this game back in 2001, but it was definitely unexpected and made this more annoying than it needed to be. Just keep on running, keep on running, keep on running. And we'll get there. But for me, the handgun worked the best, especially in this first part.
Eddie, what are you doing?
What does it look like? He always busted my balls. You fat, disgusting piece of shit. You make me sick. Fat ass, you're nothing but a waste of skin. You're so ugly, even your mama don't love you. Well, maybe he was right. Maybe I am nothing but a fat, disgusting piece of shit. But you know what? It doesn't matter if you're smart, dumb, ugly, pretty. It's all the same once you're dead. And the corpse can't laugh. From now on, if anyone makes fun of me, I'll kill him. Just like that.
Eddie, have you gone nuts? I knew it.
You too. You're just like him, James.
Hey, I didn't mean anything.
Don't bother. I understand. You've been laughing at me all along, haven't you? Ever since we first met. I'll kill you, James!
That's almost as awkward as the Sybil scene in Silent Hill 1. The handgun works best for this part here. It shoots a lot faster. And like I mentioned before, from a longer distance, it does away with him pretty quickly, which is nice. Although interesting he can take so many bullets. I don't know, maybe these are Silent Hill bullets. Also, good going, James, antagonizing the crazy man. There are a couple of items I want to pick up before moving on. Note that Eddie wants to die. He pointed the gun at himself again when he said, "I'll kill them just like that." So he definitely wants to die. I'm going with the shotgun here because normally this would actually work, and I'm just showing that you can't save.
Do you know what it does to you, James? When you're hated, picked on, spit on, just because of the way you look, after you've been laughed at your whole friggin' life. That's why I ran away after I killed the dog. Ran away like a scared little girl. Yeah, I killed that dog. It was fun. It tried to chew its own guts out. Finally died all curled up in a ball. Then he came after me. I shot him too, right in the leg. He cried more than the dog. He's gonna have a hard time playing football on what's left of that knee.
You think it's okay to kill people? You need help, Eddie.
Don't get all holy on me, James. This town called you too. You and me are the same. We're not like other people. Don't you know that? Let's party!
Again, some interesting dialogue between Eddie is ruined by kind of a weird final line. So the crap thing with shotguns in video games is they are close-range weapons. That's not how they work in real life. In my previous playthrough, Eddie ran right up to me, so it was pretty easy to shoot him with the shotgun. But now, unfortunately, he's running away, and I don't quite realize that yet. But I'll show that in a minute. I've never seen him do that unless that happened when I originally played the game back in 01. Yeah, this boss actually does some damage to me. I think what you're supposed to do is hide behind these sacks of meat or corpses, whatever the hell they are. And then once you see him, then go after him. At this point, I don't want to take any chances. I've got the health items to use, so I figure I might as well use them. And here's where I noticed that he's running around, and I'm like, hey, get back here! So this is Eddie's Silent Hill. Lots of hanging bits of meat. He obviously has issues with his weight and being picked on. I'm not sure why football people would have such an issue with him. You would think they would want to work him out to see if he could be an offensive lineman. But jocks are assholes most of the time. Especially what I assume for Eddie was in high school. Alright, Eddie, it's time to end this.
Eddie? Eddie? I killed a human being. A human being. Mary. Did you really die 3 years ago?
I like how he said a human being. Very emotionless. Really fits the tone. Notice that death has triggered something in James. When Maria died the first time, James started to wonder if Mary really is here. James kills Eddie. Now he's wondering if Mary really died 3 years ago. It's like every time somebody dies, it's triggering something in James. And I'm going to save my game here and end the video, so let's go ahead and do that. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time with more Silent Hill 2.